So I'm just kind of, I created these slides just as a way to summarize the information that you can get through all the ARIS documents. And there are a lot. So I just tried to get this to a point where it's simpler to understand. The whole purpose is that we're trying to recognize those in our field that are doing good work. And so there's a number of ways to do it. And so we want as many people to be involved in this process as we can, either in self-nominating or nominating others. And it's really kind of, if you break it down to the basic two aspects of it, it's either recognizing those who do broader impacts work in knowledge generation, and that is with the actual technical research itself, or in knowledge translation, where they're doing broader impacts work that is complementary to or supported by the research. It can be, you can nominate individuals, collaborations, program projects, research or education institutes, any other organization, and we are not limiting it to just that. If you have a case for someone that you think should be recognized in these awards, we're open to any suggestions. And if you have questions about them, you can either ask them on this, or you can set up a call with me, or send an email to me. There are 4 general categories that we'll go through here today: the Broader Impacts Champion, Impact Goals, Impact Innovations, and Enduring Achievement, and they're all distinct. So in the first year, we had Broader Impacts Champions of Shirley Malcolm, Neil Lane, Wanda Ward, and Dahlia. If any of you were at the summit, you can see that this is kind of the Broader Impacts Champion is just that. They've contributed significantly to either establishing or advancing the criteria, contributed significantly over several years. These are really the people that have allowed organizations like NABI and ARIS to exist, and for most of our jobs to exist. So these people are really recognized as being champions of this field. We also have the second category is the Impact Goals Award. And for those of you that are familiar with the guiding principles document, or have read the NSF PABG that kind of outlines, these are kind of the major goals in the types of broader impact work that NSF is looking for. The Impact Goals Award is specifically for people that kind of do this type of work in broader impact. The Impact Innovations Award has not, there has been no one to receive this yet. And so that's why I have this, your face here. You may be the first one, but it's really about the development of new approaches and strategies for either engaging people in or translating research to broader audiences. And Enduring Achievement is again, this is about a body of work over time. And so the winner last year of the Enduring Achievement Award was the Center for Educational Networks and Impacts at Virginia Tech, who have been in the game for quite some time. The recipients are going to be honored in May at the Virtual Summit 2021. In addition, ARIS will work the rest of the year with those recipients to highlight their work through press releases and other presentations, and we'll recognize you on our website and do anything else that we can to help you promote that work. They also get a plaque. The process is pretty simple. There are self-nominations are welcome, but you can also nominate others. It can be for individuals or groups, and there are kind of outlined in the application a few things that you need to include: the nomination letter, some letters of support, other supporting documentations to make your case that this person or group should be nominated or should be recipients of the award. If you go to the website, which I'll give you the address soon, you'll be able to see more specifics about what kinds of things should be in the nomination letters and things, but this is generally what needs to be submitted. The timeline is that you have until the end of January to submit these nominations. And so hopefully that gives you enough time, 2.5 months to nominate anyone that you're potentially interested in doing. And then again, the winners will be announced at the virtual summit in May. There is a website or a page within the ARIS website specifically about awards, and I have that listed here. And you can refer to in much greater detail than I presented all of the things that you might need to know related to the awards. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that people have at this point about the awards. Yeah, so there's a question that says, do you accept international nominations? And unless there's something that I don't know related to that, I think it's absolutely fine to have international applications and nominations. Great, thanks, Cornell. Yeah, I agree with Susan. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't want to recognize those international members as well. Yeah, absolutely, Kiki. I just put it in the chat. Can I maybe get a show of hands of those that might be interested or are thinking about nominating someone? If you go under participants, there's a yes or no button to click on. If you're thinking about nominating someone, could you click yes? And if you're not, no.
I assume it's okay for us to nominate people if we're part of the ARIS board.
Again, I don't see any reason why that wouldn't be okay. Obviously, I think that the selection committee would you would recuse yourself in any situation where there was some kind of potential conflict.
Well, I'm not on the selection committee anyway, so I wouldn't have to recuse myself.
No, I haven't got my hooks in you yet. Okay, no button for maybe is fine.
Matt, it looks like Cornell had another question.
Is there a specific criteria that you apply to put together the selections committee once you receive the awards nomination? The committee is already been formed for the selection process. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I was actually just trying to learn more about the criteria that you apply of who you think would be good on the committee, or is it people that self-volunteer to be part of the selections committee to sort of review the applicants and then make a final decision? It's just to, again, learn a bit more about how you go about it and to see how one can consider something similar for us in South Africa when we do our award system.
Yeah, so I have there's a little bit more information about how we go about selecting these. And that's not it. So under the criteria for selection, you'll see that, we have outlined these criteria in which we use to make the selections. And then after we go through each of the nominations and everyone kind of has time to review them individually, then we'll meet as a committee if there's any discussion.
Thanks.
Are you volunteering to be on the committee as well, Cornell?
I don't think
it almost sounded like that.
I don't think I'm experienced enough. So, but I have looked when you put out the call, because I was interested to see how you put out the call, what are the criteria, etc. So that's why I just wondered how you put together the committee. But it's good to hear how each committee member reviews sort of on their own in isolation, and then the committee comes together. That's a nice way also of doing it.
Yeah, great. That's at least, I mean, we're only in our third year as a committee, so it's not like we have highly established kind of history in it. Any challenges in choosing across different disciplines? Marie, can you turn on your mic and kind of talk about what you mean?
Yeah, I'm from the University of Ottawa in Canada, and we have some impact awards, and it's been a challenge to kind of compare. Like, we receive these applications from different disciplines: health, social sciences, humanities, and it does cause us some issues as to how, like, if we're always kind of going to health, for example, or do you have any challenges that kind?
We have not yet. I think that especially as we gain more members in social sciences and others, I think we could potentially run into that. And I appreciate that for bringing that up, because I think it's something that we as a committee should consider ahead of time before we're faced with those challenges. Kiki, what would you like to know about the knowledge translation category?
Well, I know that you're highlighting research itself, but I'm just wondering, there are a lot of people who are doing many efforts in science, art, and outreach, and just these different areas of translating science to people, and just wondering how you're breaking down the difference between the categories. Does there need to be impact research and evidence for impact of the engagement of the translation activity?
I would say I would not expect it to rise to the level of research. I think, though, that any kind of evidence of impact is going to make the nomination stronger. I think that it's by far more common to see people in BI fields doing the knowledge translation kind of work more than the kind of the research is the broader impact. I think that's much more rare. So I think that generally speaking, most of the people that will be nominated will be in that kind of engaged knowledge translation bucket. But I mean, really, I would look more at the categories of awards rather than those two kind of big buckets that we throw all the type of broader impacts work into. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you need to be a member to of ARIS to apply, or?
I don't want to speak out of school or anything, but I don't see any reason why you have to be a member of ARIS to be recognized, to recognize people for work that is kind of fits into this area. Susan, am I off base?
I don't
There you
think
go.
you're necessarily off base. It is one of the benefits of membership in ARIS to be able to be nominated. But again, membership in ARIS is free, so anybody can join. So it's not really an impediment or a barrier. So
Good. Well, hopefully people can get the word out. I would really like to be, I'd like to have the challenge of making some tough decisions about these awards. I would like to have a lot of nominations. So please, if you know of anybody or are thinking of nominating anyone, that would be great.